Today we like to study from the subject, on the subjects of what do you know about demons? Demons. I was asked that question recently, and I thought that I would pause for a moment and take a quick look and try to share with you. And I say quick, but take some time, I should say, better a term to be used, and share with you some things concerning demons. The question was asked me basically, can demons enter into folk like in New Testament time and actually take over someone and control them? And so I want to share with you what I've learned and studied from past experience in studying along with what we have gathered very recently. But again, we want to look at the subjects in so many words. What do you know really about demons? And what we're talking about here now is, in New Testament times in particular, there's no question that the Bible shares with us that demons got into folk and actually control or possess them. And at that time also, what God provided was the power to cast out these demons or devils. Well, the question may be asked, what's the origin of these demons? And really, as we study the Bible, have not really found so much the origin, but I want to share with you what we have discovered concerning demons. Well, the first thing that I want to share with you is, let's notice the nature of demons. Let's check the book. In the book of Matthew chapter 8, if you would, around verse number 16, I want you to notice what the Bible says. Matthew chapter 8, around verse number 16, let's see what the Bible says to us here. Around verse 16, Matthew chapter 8, we find these words. When the eve was come, they brought unto him many, watch this now, many that were possessed with what? Devils. Watch this now. And he cast out the spirits with his word and healed all that were sick. And so one of the first things we gain in regard to the nature of these demons or devils, that the Bible says they were spirits. Man came with devils, and Jesus casted out the what? The spirits, which were the devils. Let's check the book. In the book of Luke chapter 24, around verse 39, I want to share with you again what the definition in regard to what spirits are. Let's check the book, or what a spirit is, let me say it that way. In Luke chapter 24, around verse number 39, listen to what the Bible says. Luke chapter 24, around verse number 39. Listen to what the Bible says to us here. We find Jesus had come back from the dead. He comes to his disciples, and they are afraid because they thought they saw a ghost. But Jesus now is eating with them. Now, around verse 39, he says these words. Behold my hands and my feet, that it is I myself. Handle me and see, watch this now, for a spirit hath not flesh and bones, as ye see me have. And so, again, when we look at the nature of demons, the Bible says to us that they are a spirit. They're from the spirit realm. Another thing that I want to share with you is this one here. We need to look at their character about them. These demons or devils or spirits that entered men, they were evil. They did things that was at the detriment of the individuals that they went into and possessed. Let's check the book. In the book of Mark chapter 1, around verse number 24, let's notice what the Bible says. Mark chapter 1, around verse number 24. Listen to what the Bible says. In Mark 1, around verse 24, we find these words. Mark chapter 1, around verse number 24. Watch what the Bible says. Saying, let us alone. What have we to do with thee, thou Jesus of Nazareth? Art thou come to destroy us? I know thee who thou art, the Holy One of God. Now, I went a little bit ahead. Didn't mean to do that, but I'll share the thought here. One thing we discover about demons is this, that they had some intellect. They were intelligent. They recognized Jesus as the Son of God, and they made it known. But again, they were evil in nature. Let's check the book. in Matthew chapter 9, around verse number 32. Listen to what the Bible says. Matthew chapter 9, around verse number 32. Listen to what the Bible says. In Matthew 9, around verse 32, listen to what we discover here. As they went out, behold, they brought to him a dumb man possessed with the what? Devil. So one thing that we discovered is that they cause people to have physical problems or defects. This man was dumb. Let's check the book. In Mark chapter 9, around verse 17 and verse number 18, listen to what the Bible says. Mark chapter 9, around verse 17 and verse number 18. Listen to what the Bible says. In Mark 9, around verse 17, verse number 18, we find these words. And one of the multitude answered and said, Master, I have brought unto thee my son, which hath a dumb spirit. And wheresoever he taketh him, he teareth him, and he foameth and gasheth with his teeth, and pineth that is dry up away. And I spake to thy disciples that they should cast him out, and they could not. And so the Bible says here again, when that spirit, when that devil, when that demon entered into a man, it meant him no good. And oftentimes it would cause not only physical issues, but also sometimes mental issues or mental sickness or mental diseases. So again, the possession of the demon or the devil or the spirit was oftentimes, without question, to do detriment, to do harm, to do hurt to the individual that the spirit or the demon or the devil went into. Now, the Bible says that there was a prince of these demons or devils. Let's check the book. In the book of Matthew chapter 12, around verse number 24, listen to what the Bible says. Matthew chapter 12, around verse number 24. Listen to what the book says. In Matthew 12, around verse number 24, we find these words. But when the Pharisees heard it, they said, This fellow doth not cast out devils, but by Beelzebub, the prince of the devils. And so they accused Jesus for casting out devils, and they contributed that. It says, it must be the influence or the power of Beelzebub. So again, what we're sharing here is this. There was someone evidently over these demons or devils, and the indication is it was identified by one called Beelzebub, who was the prince. He was in charge of these demons. Now, what have we gained or gathered so far? Again, these were spirits not made out of any flesh and blood. They were ones that were intelligent. They recognized Jesus and identified him as not just being Jesus of Nazareth, but he's also the Son of God. But even with their intelligence, again, their aim was, when they got inside, to do detriment or harm or hurt to the individual that they possess. But another thing that we need to consider now, and that question might be, what was the purpose of demons? Why did they have, or I should say, why did God allow demons? And I'm going to say it that way, because what we need to recognize all the time, and that is that there's nothing that happens or goes on in this world or out of this world that God does not know about. There'll never be a time that God would say, I wonder what happened. Not God. God knows everything all the time.